Come on in and welcome to my kitchen. In our last video, we learned how to make donuts. If you're yet to watch that video, I'll be leaving a link for you in the description section, so you can go ahead and watch that video and learn one or two things. In today's video, I'll simply be paying honor and homage to the western part of Nigeria in making one of their favorite soup called Obe or Obe Ata. This brought back memories for me because when I was growing up, this was one of our favorite soup that was prepared during Lenten season. I decided to make this stew and show you guys what I used to have growing up, and you'll be one of and welcome you into part of the family. There's a major difference between the regular Sunday stew that you must have seen on my channel, and if you're yet to see that video, I'll be leaving a link for you as well. There's a difference between that stew and this stew, so let's talk about the difference. For instance, in Obe, what you have is that you do not fry the stew at all. You shouldn't fry the stew, and you would not be preheating the oil and doing the necessary jazz that you do for a regular Nigerian Sunday stew. Also, another difference is that for this, it's not as thick as you have the regular Nigerian Sunday stew. It is very, liquidy or fluidy or thin, whatever English you choose to say. And that's what you have for Obe, unlike the regular Nigerian Sunday stew. But before I go on rambling, let's get onto the work table and start cooking.
Here are the few ingredients that we're going to be needing for this recipe. For the full list, kindly check the description section below. Let's get started. First, we'll need to rinse the bell pepper and tomatoes and get them ready for pureeing in our blender as shown. Once you're done with that, proceed to your blender and add everything in and blend them till very smooth. This next step is optional, but I love to do this because it takes my Obe Ata to the next level. I try to take out the meat stock a day before or even that same day, and I set it aside and then use part of this to thin out my tomato puree before I add water to it. But if you don't have this meat stock, you can go ahead and then thin out your pureed tomato and red bell pepper with water. That's fine as well, as long as you season it very well when it's time. You want it very thin, like you want it very runny. You do not want it to be thick, because remember I said that this soup is majorly you boiling and reducing your tomato down. So that's the key to making the soup. You need to make it very thin at the beginning so that you don't end up frying it before the tomato itself cooks very well and reduces the tanginess that comes with the tomato that we all know. Next, add in a scoop of palm oil. You'll notice that I'm not going to be using a lot of oil in this recipe as well, because you do not really need a lot of oil. So just scoop in your oil, add in your seasoning powder and every other spice that you'll be using. I added cayenne pepper because I like the kick it gives to the soup as well, and Maggi, and that's about it. Leave this to boil on medium to high heat. I'm showing you right here the consistency that you'll be aiming for. You see how very runny it is from the beginning. You will notice that by the time it starts boiling and boiling down and reducing, it's going to reduce in amount. So just leave that on there to keep boiling. Check up on it once in a while to make sure that your water doesn't dry up so fast and then it starts frying. After some minutes of boiling and reducing, this is what you have. You'll notice how reduced it is, but it's still running, like it's not frying like the regular tomatoes Sunday stew that you're used to. You still have some runny texture to it. I decided to add a little bit of more oil to it, but this is totally optional. Don't get it twisted when you do not see oil at first coming out from the soup. It's going to come out by the time it's really well done. Apart from the flavor, the oil gives it the glossy look. So that's another function of the palm oil. Continue to boil down, like I said, and cook. Some minutes later, you see it's starting to thicken up. That is what you're looking for. Taste it and adjust your spices to your own preference at this stage. Once you believe that everything is set, the tanginess is good for you, it's not as tangy as it was from the beginning, and you're fine with the taste, then you go ahead and add your fish. Again, here is a note: this fish was brined in salt water, so it has started seasoning itself even before I added it into the soup. So be very careful. I like not to add the salt when I'm seasoning at first and wait till I add my fish until the end. Then I'll be able to determine if I need more salt to be added or not. And that's another advantage of you using your meat stock, because the meat stock also season it as well. So do not add salt at this stage. Just wait and let everything cook together before adding salt. You see that I gently put the fish in because you do not want it to scatter. And once you put the fish in, you don't need to stir vigorously anymore. Just let it submerge into the stew and leave it. Cover it up and allow the fish to cook. So at this stage, practically what we are waiting for is for the fish to be well done. Once the fish is well done, your soup is ready. Also, what you notice is that the oil will start floating on top as shown. At this stage, I decided to test and see if the seasoning is okay for me, like I said, and I decided to add more seasoning to it. Test it and see if you need more salt or not, and allow it to continue to cook some more. Once it has cooked for a little bit, you see the amount of oil floating on top of it. That is okay. Then you know that your soup is ready. Take this off the pan and your soup is ready for consumption. I hope you had a nice time watching this video and you're going to try this recipe at home, and let me know your feedback. Also, you do not need to just use fish. You can use meat as well for this recipe. But like I said, the main difference is that you're not frying, you're just boiling. So the steps are pretty straightforward. It's just that you need that technique of knowing that you do not want to fry the stew, you only want to cook it. Until next time, when I see you again, let's learn and cook together. Bye-bye.